You go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tattoo Homewreckers, a podcast where we talk about tattoos, life, and everything in between. And today we're talking about everything in between.
Yeah, we're talking about interior design.
Yes, one of our favorite things, if you didn't know. Kind of odd. We are a tattoo podcast, but we secretly love interior design.
I don't think it's secret. That's part of why we're called Homewreckers, because we will come into your home and we will wreck it.
Yes.
Not in the case that we're actually going to damage your home, but that like...
Make it better.
Yeah. That we will go into people's homes, not like randomly, like
we're like
it's
thieves.
Invited.
We're thieves in the night, and someone calls the tattoo homewreckers got me,
and they come in like there's glitter wallpaper.
The curtains match the decorative pillows on the couch. Oh my god!
No, but like friends ask us to help them.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah, we help people.
Sometimes decorate their houses.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of inquiries because, not gonna lie, our house is pretty awesome. But on this episode, we are taking a break from serious shit.
We got to do about half the lobby at the shop
before
we ran out of funds.
No, we did. Absolutely.
And energy, because that's a hard one to try to redo a whole lobby.
It's
hard
on
a weekend while everyone's not at work. Yeah.
Yeah, and the entire time we were redoing the lobby on a weekend, we kept getting harassed by men. That was awful.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That one sucked.
But bar that,
mm-hmm.
This episode's going to be a little bit lighter because...
Yeah. For anyone who's been on my social media over the last 24 to 48 hours, I'm sure you've seen I am going through some shit. We are still working on that, and then we will talk about that later. But
Heavy
don't worry.
Business.
No one's dead. No one's pregnant. Nothing crazy. It's just some stuff we're working through.
Lots of revelations have been happening in this household, and growth is painful, but it's also beautiful all the time. Yep. Which is why we're kind of just taking it easy. I've got a beer next to me.
Yep, I've got a cider next to me.
Got a cider, and we are just hanging out during this episode talking about one of our favorite things, interior design, if you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, to start off, we've been in this house for over a year.
Yeah, about a year and a half now.
Which is so weird to think about.
We moved in March of... It's 2022.
It is 2022 this year.
Yeah,
this
March of 2021.
Yes, March of 2021 we moved in together.
And we got the bulk of it done before our vow renewal, which was 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Was it? Wait, is it? No. I can't fucking count. I think it was less than 9 weeks by the time we came in.
It was a race. It was a race to get stuff done. At least the downstairs part, which honestly, I personally feel like that was the biggest chunk.
Yeah.
Of the house is that communal space. So when you walk into our house, it is you would say living room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, living room.
Wait, what were you gonna call the living room?
I was gonna call it a communal space.
Our communal space.
Our communal quarters. So you walk in our house, it's our living room, and then we've got our downstairs bathroom. We've got an entrance to the garage. Then there's a kitchen.
Yeah, and we have an open floor plan, so when you first walk in, you're in the living room, and you can see the dining room and the kitchen, and it's all one large...
quarter.
Yeah, one large communal living quarter.
Communal living quarters, yeah. And so because we had Gaia's vow renewal coming up, and we were going to host and have it at the house, we had to not only get that space ready, but also the backyard as well.
Yep.
And then
we also renovated the backyard in those weeks.
Made a surprise guest room in addition to our actual guest room, which is now this room.
Yes. Our office was indeed at that point a surprise guest room because I didn't want to ask family to stay in hotels. So I instead...
You were so nice
did
for that.
An entire guest room.
Bought a whole ass bed and a frame.
And then once they left, just got rid of all of it. And I realized after the fact that it would have been more cost effective and probably just better for everyone if I would have just bought them a hotel room.
You know what? We live and we learn.
Yeah.
We live and we learn. But basically, we put a lot of love and care into this house. Despite, of course, we had, a deadline. But honestly, I think it helped.
Yeah, it absolutely did. I think, the trick, for me, one of the tips I tell people is when you first move into a house, just knock it all out.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible, and it is more...
It was hard.
Yeah, it was very hard, but Otherwise, it's really easy for you to then be like, I've been here for 5 years and never got through that. Whereas like we did everything we painted all the walls, the ceilings, because I'm really big on like color should take up an entire room. And I think that a lot of people stop at like the ceiling and they just have a hard time imagining a ceiling being anything other than white.
Yeah.
And like even when I told them, because we bought a brand new home, so we got to go in and pick colors. And when I told the person who was like in charge of that, I don't know what the fucking job title is. If someone knows me, please tell me. And I was like, no, I just want everything like this base color, like gray. Just really simple. And she was like, well, you don't want the doors different colors? I'm like, no, because I'm gonna fucking paint everything anyway. So like, and I'm a fan of like your baseboards and your walls and your ceiling, do them all the same.
Love that.
Like make it dramatic. Like instead of playing small, because I think a lot of people just genuinely play small.
They do.
And I think that your home is one of those places where you can play as big as you want. Because if someone doesn't like, fuck them. I've had a couple people who don't like our home. Same as like our last house, I played with really bold, bright colors, like aquamarines and turquoises, like really rich, deep tones as well. And couple people didn't like them. They weren't my fucking people. I didn't particularly like those people in my house anyway. So like, if someone else doesn't like your design, fuck it. That's not your person.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, it's your fucking house, dude. And let's talk about playing big, even though, and a lot of people get hung up on this as well. They're like, you're going to be moving.
Yeah.
Why are you putting so much love and care and like effort into a house that you're inevitably going to leave?
The one I kept getting when we were doing it was like, that's so much work for you to only be there for a couple years. I'm like, but I'm going to live in it every day for a couple years.
Yeah.
So I would rather live in a space that is like ours and a like culmination of all of our like energy and love.
Yeah.
Than to live in a fucking white box and be like, cool, this is where I go home to.
Yeah.
It houses my stuff.
You should be excited to go home.
Yeah.
And not just because like home is where all your stuff is, like all of your like, I don't know. I was having a conversation with our manager and he's like, yeah, all of your stuff is there. Like, you know, you have like your video games and your consoles and like your TV and blah, blah, blah. Like you want to chill out, you want to relax. But it's not just the stuff that I have. It's how I present it that like made such a major difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can have things, but my thing is if you're going to have a thing, honor it. Give it the space and love and attention that it needs.
Yeah.
For example, my controllers are mounted up on my wall.
They look so cool. Her room is so fucking cool.
Thank you. They're very cute. And then
So
I have
cool.
I have my ukulele mounted up on my wall and my viola, which I never play up on my wall. But those are things that I love. Those are a part of my personality that like I enjoy, and I don't know, it's just a big, meaningful part of me. And so if you have things, show them that respect. If they're going to take up space in your living quarters.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the word quarters. If they are going to take up space anyways, honor them. Give them like that respect, you know? And like make it artsy, make it fun. Make it fucking fun.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like our downstairs bathroom is
beautiful.
It's like Narnia. So it's one of the under the stairs bathrooms, and you open the door and there is fake grass on the ground, which is its own cute little story. And then the like roof is angled, and it's covered in shiplap, so it looks, and then the walls are all wallpaper. Good wallpaper, y'all. Get good wallpaper.
Yeah,
it's not that expensive anymore. And honestly, like all of our wallpaper came from Amazon. No matter how you feel about that company, that was the best place I could find it. And it was like $100 and would cover a whole wall, and they're big statement pieces. Because this is where I'm quintessentially English, and I will put wallpaper up any chance I get.
Can I also say you broke that like stigma for me? Because for whatever reason, I grew up thinking that like wallpaper wasn't just something that you did; it was something that you had to do. Yeah, it wasn't something that like you wanted to do. It's just something that you had to do. It was like whatever.
In my opinion, it's the easiest way to change a room.
Fuck, dude, and it's so fun. It is so like it A, changes a room effectively, and B, there are so many different things you can do with wallpaper. Yeah. For example, our forest themed bathroom is fucking
and it's
rad.
just you step in and you close the door behind you. Hopefully, you're a weirdo. Well, I don't close the door when no one else is home. Or if she's not home, I don't close the fucking door. Or if she's upstairs, because you can hear her coming down the stairs. She's very loud. Yeah. I have to pause to wonder if it's her or one of the dogs.
Which is so funny. I sound like Bailey.
You do sound just like Bailey. You both are like, pop, 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 pop. Yeah. But it's took a space that those, I'm sure people have seen those under the stairs bathrooms. They can be quite claustrophobic, especially with the angled ceiling. Mm-hmm. And for me, it took that space and just opened it up. And I came up with the idea when I think I was about 12. And I lived in South Carolina at the time, and we were living in a modular home that my parents were renting. Yep. And there was lots of wood, and it was just, in my opinion, at that age, which I will still back that opinion, just very tacky. Just, it felt cheap. And I was like, dude, if you could take this wood and make it better, and then make it look like when you stepped into the bathroom, you were taking a shit in the woods, that would be the funniest thing. And
dude, it's done well. I'm not gonna lie. Our house, that bathroom is the star of the show. Yeah. Yeah. And I was gonna ask on the podcast what your favorite part of the house was. And I was like, that's gonna be a hard question. And you're like, nope.
No. For me, it's the bathroom, through and through, just because you said earlier, home is where your stuff is, and I don't really have stuff. Okay. I don't have things. Right. So my only probably thing would be my tablet, and that's still a work thing. Yeah. So it's probably something that we should dive more into. We should look at that. I don't have stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I don't have important things. Mm-hmm. So I'm home is not where my stuff is for me. Home is the actual home itself. Yeah. It is a building in which I can cultivate experiences.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you said something earlier today too, which really hit me. Cause for you, one of the most important things, in love and sharing your life with people's memory making. Yeah. So that makes sense. Cause it's less about the stuff and the things and more about whoa, cause you tell me even, you're when I see these things, I remember you and Jude, staining the wood for the shiplap in the bathroom. When I look at the shelves, I think of Caboose making the shelves. Mm-hmm. When I look at the paint that I did on the walls, I remember painting them. I remember doing all these things. Those are core memories.
Well, it's when I was installing the hardware on the kitchen cabinets and the conversations we had during those moments.
Gosh, yeah.
And then when we installed the coffee bar, taking the cabinets out of the laundry room and trying to convince Caboose that these cabinets can indeed be mounted to the wall in our kitchen to create a coffee bar because you wanted to have a barista moment. And so the home was all about creating these specific moments for memories for all of us. And then it was meant to create a space that would create beautiful moments. Yeah. Because, that's the photographer in me is hey, I want to create these moments through photography and through videos, but that are visually appealing. And when we don't look at and go, oh man, you remember that time we lived on a futon? Yep. But it's hey, look at how inviting this space is and that it invites that creative process as well.
Yeah, it does. And it's funny because I've said this before, when we are out in public, the three of us, we all are completely different vibes. Yeah. All three of us are very I'm sure people look at us and they're how the fuck do these three people know each other? I'm so confused. And that's the special part of the house because we're such three different vibes. Somehow we made it work. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where it's all of a sudden it's god damn, it couldn't have gone together so seamlessly. And yes, it required work and it required tweaking here and there and all that stuff. But I don't know. There's something so special in putting your personality in a place that you are going to live in. Yeah. I think don't play it small.
Yeah. It's worth the energy and effort. And obviously it helps to have the money to be able to purchase things.
Oh, for sure.
But even then I think that a can of paint's a fucking can of paint. Paint is not that expensive. Yeah. And even I have painted or done temporary wallpaper in every apartment that I've ever stayed in. I've always designed it because I think that cultivating a place where you want to be is so important because there's so many like, I mean, I love my car, but I don't want to be in my car for ages. Yeah. And it's like, and it's the same thing with work is like pushing to get the lobby redone and then just being like, fuck it, I'll do it. Cause like I spend a lot of time at work. And so creating spaces to be like, hey, so that way you also know, because I think that's the thing with interior design is that you have to appreciate the social aspect of it.
Yes.
Is like, what does it do to people when they step into a room?
Yeah.
And like, not only like, what does it do to you, but like if you walk in and your home is just a white box.
Like,
and it feels sterile. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that supposed to do to your mood? Does it bring you up? Does it calm you down? Does it make you feel like you're in a hospital? Like,
yeah.
What does that do to you? How it affects people. And it's just like art in itself. Like, how does this make you fucking feel? And we went to Chicago. And they were talking about architecture and how some of architecture, a lot of it is also social science. And I feel like that goes hand in hand with, like, obviously interior design. Social science is like, does this look like a place you would want to hang out in?
Yeah.
And our lobby does. Like, our lobby.
And I think that's it. And, like, obviously our lobby isn't, like, done and it's not, like, where I ideally would want it to be. Because I definitely want to create more warmth in there. But I think that like just the steps of like taking it as the business evolving the space with the business. And I think it's the same thing with your home is that like so many people, like how many times have we been to people's homes and they've lived there for 15, 20 years and it's been the same color the whole time.
God, yeah.
Like nothing gets updated because people just like forget the importance of that. And I think that like by putting on that like fresh coat of paint, fresh wallpaper, fresh like interior gives you that new life.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, I don't want people to feel bad. Like if you forget about it, it happens. We're all adults. You're busy. Work is crazy. You're tired. But interior design, I feel like is such a high level of honoring yourself.
Yeah.
That like it is fucking worth it. Put in the work. Take a second. It's gonna take more than a second.
And don't be afraid to like fuck it up because we did that with the dining room because we didn't want to so our living room, we'll figure out some sort. I'll figure out some like link below to like put up pictures or something. Our living room is like a deep emerald green and like I said it goes like up on the ceiling because I wanted this illusion of in like slightly darker lighting it looks black, so like you will like catch areas where it looks black, so it's very deep and dark and very rich. Cozy and rich. Because for me I am very sensitive to light, so like bright things are fucking awful for me.
Cave mode is important.
We talk about cave mode all the time where we have blackout curtains, so like on my days off I very much have to like desensitize, so like I won't fuck with my phone because it's too bright. And we go like when I'm in one of those places, both Caboose and Callie are really great about being like, okay, we're going to go cave mode. And our living room turns into a theater. So we have like backlighting on the TV and the wall that the TV's mounted on. It goes throughout the entire downstairs and it's black. But our living room is like a dark emeraldy, like green. And then the dining room, you know, it's connected, but I wanted to like really play off that different section. So like the living room is all one color with the like there's an angle on the roof where it like cuts across, and then we have a hanging there you go chandelier that's like a giant statement piece because I wanted it to be a piece that when you walked in you were like holy shit, and it's got these like warm like the Edison bulbs hanging from it, cool. And it's got plants up top and it's a big reclaimed hey this podcast could like
we found it.
We found this wood.
Somewhere.
Yes.
It's redacted.
Redacted. No business was harmed in the finding of this wood.
And we just found it. We grabbed it.
Yeah. And
by we, I meant you.
Yeah, I did. I grabbed it. It wasn't a trash pile. So there you go.
To be fair, it was going to get tossed anyway.
It was right next to a dumpster. It was going to get gone.
I just think it's funny because when she came home, she said, I found our chandelier. I thought maybe she found it on a website. And then I looked, and then Caboose is like, she didn't just find it. We took it. And
I acquired
said
this
item.
Giant beam.
Yes. And it's beautiful.
That was, like I said, it was on a trash pile.
Don't come for us.
Yeah, don't come for me. And then we carved it out like a canoe and caboosed all the electronics. So and then like I just kept showing him pictures of like it's this and like these are where this goes. And then I stained it to make it look like a really old reclaimed piece of wood.
Beautiful. It was beautiful.
And it is the statement piece we wanted it to be. And then we have a custom table that Caboose made for us.
Mm-hmm. Equally is beautiful.
And then like we have a bench on one side, like a nice like 1950s bench style seating, so that way Guinness could sit next to Callie. But purely for that, because once again, like taking into consideration the like memory making that happens, I think is so important on like the pieces you choose. Mm-hmm. But then back to my original point, because we got really sidetracked.
Yes, that's okay.
We then said, okay, we really like hexagons a lot.
Yes,
so like a hexagonal. Yeah. We're very geometric, like theme throughout the whole house, because I think it's important to have like themes.
Yes. And a hexagon is ballsy, by the way. Like, I think a hexagon is pretty fucking ballsy. It's a beautiful shape, but it's also, like, everything has to be equal.
It's because I wanted and we never got around to it, because that's what happens, is if you don't initially do it, we've been here for a year and a half and I still haven't fucking done it. Yeah. I wanted the backsplash to be white with a hexagon.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where, like, the original concept came in, was from that.
Tie it in.
And then we had Caboose make shelves that are hexagons that go around the window where our dining room is. And once again, this is just an open floor plan. And I was like, okay, well, I really want to bring in some like yellow to like lighten this up.
Right.
And
I was like, yellow is such a good idea.
Yeah,
like, it's going to be beautiful
happy.
With the jade. Like it's going to like, you know, they're going to clash, but in a good way, you know, like the contrast is going to be amazing.
And what happened?
And then we did it. And then I was like, oh my God. No, who said it
Caboose.
first? Caboose said it first. He said, are we living in a beehive? And I was like, oh no, we fucked up.
Yep.
We fucked up. I was like, welcome to the beehive. How can I be of service? Like, it was bad. It looked like a cheesy restaurant.
Bee pun for a minute there.
Horrible restaurant.
Yeah. And then so like, we did that and just laughed at the fact that we're like, well, this didn't work.
And mind you, it's a whole ass, again, like time-consuming project of painting and realizing that, oh, we fucked up.
But then we painted it this like really pretty, like almost seafoamy, green. That then became, because at that point I had to go back to the drawing board of like, hey, I have this super dark green, and I didn't want to fuck with the kitchen. I wanted the kitchen to essentially like, I'm not really a fan of a like centerpiece kitchen where like that's your focal point.
Kitchen's where you get shit done.
Yeah, like to me it seems more like, and obviously there are lots of gorgeous kitchens, and if a kitchen is like the heart of the home for you, absolutely. But I grew up in like houses where that was the heart of the home, and I don't fucking care about cooking, and I didn't want that to be the place that everyone hung out.
Yeah.
So I left that like a base gray and was like, no, I don't want to do a whole lot in there. I want that to just kind of like be a space, but not like a focal space.
I kind of love that, because the color is where the food is, honestly. It's not, like, for me at least, like my color where I come from the kitchen, if anything, it allows me to be more inspired, because I'm focused on the dish. I'm not focused on like whatever interior design is happening in the kitchen. Our kitchen is still really
because
cool.
all we did to the kitchen was we just added plants and lighting above. That's the other thing that just a random fucking off topic thing. Lighting, y'all. You want to talk about interior design? Lighting. Like that is one of my favorite things. That's another like universal thing throughout the house, is that we play a lot with like lighting the shadows. So I have a lot of strip lights that we then essentially cover with plants. So when it's nighttime and we're watching TV, if you look above the chandelier, you can see the like imprints or the like outlines of the plants on the ceiling. So it creates this like very, even at nighttime, the sense of the outdoors coming in.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So it's a lot of like playing with that, where you get to see these interesting shadows.
You introduced that concept to me, because like I honestly, I don't know where this comes from, and like people I've dated have brought it up too. They're like, your room is like, the light is all the lights are on. All the lights are on. Why is it so bright? It feels like I'm on a surgical table. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from, that like just like want to need to be in like bright ass Yeah.
Do you feel that way about your room now? Because I would not say that.
No, my room at first was beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah. My room at first, when like we first did it, I was like, oh, this is like a little bit too dark for my taste. But then like you look around and you get to appreciate again, like the reflections and the mood that lighting creates. Yeah. Because I think for the most part, I skipped that. Like, I didn't realize that lighting is supposed to create a mood, but it really does. It changes your whole atmosphere. Again, like I love our living room because it is very like theater-esque in the comfiest and coziest of ways. But circling back, the worst thing that happens if you fuck up, what, you just paint it again. Yeah. We had a beehive restaurant going on for a minute and we just repainted it and it was fine.
Yeah. And I think I'm lucky enough there that like I skipped that like fear and shame of like
you did. Yeah.
Of like being like, oh no, I painted this the wrong color. Cause like I had one house that I lived in. I'm very big on, it's interesting because like our backdrop for our podcast, we were just talking about how I'm not a fan of it because it's too chaotic and too cluttery for mine. And I love like open shelves in a house. So I took off all the cabinet doors and painted the cabinets Barney purple.
Oh my gosh.
And it sounds horrendous when you describe it to people. When I was in Lowe's, same as like this time, when I was in there buying gallons upon gallons of black paint.
Oh, everyone had some shit to say.
Yeah, and they're always so judgy. They're like, oh, okay. Even like my dad, when I was like, yeah, I'm going to paint one entire wall of the downstairs because it will create this flow that it's all one continuous element, but you're going to step through different sections. He was like, black? Is that your best choice?
Gosh, but it's so sexy.
And yeah, and because I was like, no, the baseboards are going black. It's going all the way up to the ceiling. Like it's gonna be black.
It is so beautiful.
Like poor Caboose, I made him change out all the hardware, all the hinges, everything is black because I wanted the doors to essentially disappear into the wall. Yeah, and obviously you can still tell they're doors.
Right. But if you're gonna do it, like do it. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go for something dramatic, devil is in the details. Change the hardware. Yeah. Because that made one hell of a fucking difference. Even painting the doors and then making sure that the handles were black. Oh, it was so good.
Well, because it gives you that like overall like high end feel, but like it's not expensive to replace that hardware.
That's kind of how I feel about outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's you're honoring yourself. In your everyday body, you're honoring yourself, putting yourself in like an outfit that makes you feel good, something that like represents you as a person. And everyone's version of a good outfit is different because everyone's personalities are different. It's the same thing with your house, only I would argue that your house is more important, that you display your personality because that's the one place that's like, dude, that's yours.
Yeah. It's and like I said, even with a rental property, because that was always the biggest thing. Like I rented up until we owned a house in South Carolina, and I went buck wild on that thing too. And then we owned this home, and every other one I didn't paint because it's like difficult with the whole like, oh, I'm gonna have to fucking repaint. But I did temporary wallpaper in all of them. Yep. Because I was like, no, this is my space, and I want to create like a moment when you walk in, and I wanted people to come in and be like, okay, it's like my car.
Oh my gosh, yes.
People see my car and they're like, is that little green car yours? Yes.
They already know.
Because it has tons of fucking person. And she doesn't have any stickers on her. She's got nothing, but just like she embodies me.
It like, the vibe that you get is very connected to you. It's one of those things where it's like, no, you're one of those people that like, you want it to display your personality. That's you know? Yeah. And I love those people.
And I think that's it, is like making those choices. Because like fucking picking out the gold glitter wallpaper. Yeah. Because we saw the like tailored down version at IKEA. And then I went on Amazon and saw like
this chunky
glitter. Yeah, chunky glitter wallpaper.
Yes. Because the tailored version was very much just like a champagne colored wallpaper with a little bit of like glitter. Just
it was like a
lines,
glitter design.
Like, just like they're like cascading lines. And it's very small, very like... It's subtle. It's very subtle. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Which nothing about either you or I is subtle.
No, and then like when you saw it and like you showed it to me, I was like, bro, we got to do it. Like that.
Yeah, because I even at that point was like, oh, this is like bold. Like, yeah, I don't know if Caboose will like live in like a glitter wallpaper. And like I said, one person said shit about my glitter wallpaper who thought they were insulting me by saying that it looked like I was in a drag queen's like dressing room, which is probably the nicest thing you could say about my bathroom.
Thank you, because I'm glamorous.
Thank you so fucking much.
Because it's me honoring myself. Yeah. It's me like, and yeah, it's fucking ballsy. And I feel like my room, we talked about this a little bit.
Your room's so good.
Thank you. It is, I'm really coming into myself as a human being, like mix and matching like my like masculine side and my feminine side. And my room is a perfect combination of that. You walk in, glitter wallpaper, a vanity for my makeup because I love doing makeup. But then like you go ahead and look and there's this like dark green all the way through and the blacks. And then the shelves are chunky and wooden. And then like I have like my gaming shit around and like it's kind of like
and you have that hard black corner where you paint like where it goes up on the ceiling.
I call it the void.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this like diamond shape in my corner, and then plants are everywhere and it's just you walk in and you look around, and I don't know if other people see this, but I walk in my room and I'm like, this feels like me.
I think so, because most people that see your room are always like, yeah, this is fucking dope.
And I'm like,
and you have the biggest bed ever.
I do. I have the biggest bed and I have the biggest TV.
But that being said, her bed is another one of those pure accidents.
Complete accident, because it was supposed to be so it's a twin. It's to fit it's a day bed.
Yeah.
So technically, you're supposed to be able to put 2 mattresses on top of this like frame, right? So that way it's a twin, and that way you have like hella space. And that was my original plan, is to keep it at a twin. Because I wasn't planning on having anybody over. I was not planning on like being in relationships. I was like, it's fine. It's just going to be me and like Guinness, and it'll be good. And it's just a twin. And then we put the mattress on top of the other mattress, and it was over the frame.
And like the weight was also like sketchy.
Fucked.
Because it's an IKEA day bed.
We were like, I don't know. I felt like a big baller buying 2 mattresses at once with all cash. But then all of a sudden I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because she got like purple mattresses, which if you slept on, they're amazing, but they're also very heavy.
Very.
And so then like the mattress stacked on the mattress was too much. Yes. And I think that's also where like playing into that to then be like, because then what happened was your bed turned from just being like a functional item to like you really leaned in where you added the LED lights behind it.
I did. I leaned into what were you gonna say?
That being said, let's have a discussion about LED lights.
Yes, can we please?
My house is made of LED lights. But if you want to make an LED light, like if you want under counter lighting, don't pay for that bullshit. Get LEDs. You can get them really cheap. Go with a soft white. It looks way better than a fucking cool white. Like you want some yellow tones
bright
in there.
Ass fucking blue. I'm sorry, I know.
But the trick, if you're like, dude, how do I make my LEDs look good like I actually meant them to, versus looking like
a college kid's fucking room.
I was gonna say, no offense to college kids.
Oh, full offense. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done.
Hide the fucking bulbs.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to see the strip. Put it behind your bed frame.
Exposed LEDs.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so cheap. Yeah, it screams like, am I at a Spirit like Halloween store? Am I at fucking Spirit right now? Where am I?
Yeah.
I can't do it. I really can't. And like hide it. Like if you're gonna put it on your frame, put it like on the frame and no one can see the actual strip.
Yeah. Put it underneath. Put it behind. But that being said, you put it's the same with like any sort of art. You use light to pull your attention somewhere. So if you've got shit underneath your bed, don't be putting LED strips underneath your bed, because all you're doing is bringing attention.
Now we're looking at your shit underneath your bed.
Yes.
And I said a comment. I'm like, oh, don't make it bright blue. You can make it fun. Absolutely. But like, make it classy.
Yeah.
Make it so that way you can tell this is all on purpose. This is very specific. Yep. This is very intentional. Make it intentional. Yep. Don't just throw it up there because it's the next trendy thing to do, which the next trendy thing to do is expose LED lights. But like, stop. I'm done. No more.
I don't think it's trendy.
It's trendy on TikTok.
I take it the same way as like neon clothing, that like I don't care. I don't care if you think it's trendy. It doesn't. That is genuinely, they say this all the time, that like you will reach an age and you will look back and be like, oh no, I regret this decision. And I was told that about my hair, and I was like, fuck y'all, my hair is meant to be pink. That's just it. Mm-hmm. And I never looked back and said, oh my God, you look like a loser. Mm-hmm. But there are specific things, and neon is a hard one for you to not look back. I'm aware that my hair is neon. Clothing wise, decoration wise, it's a hard one to not look back and go, Exposed LEDs is just the interior design neon.
I love that. Yes, it is.
It's fucking tacky.
Who said?
And all you gotta do is adjust it a couple inches. Because we have LEDs on the inside of our windows.
I have LEDs all over my room.
Yeah.
Behind my mirror. Fucking behind my TV, behind my bed frame, and they're all obnoxious colors. I like to change them up.
Well, like Caboose has them behind his desk over there.
Oh my God,
and in his little space.
Yes, but
corner.
Like make sure that they're like, make sure the strips are not exposed. Yeah. That's how they're meant to be.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, we got lost.
We did.
Somewhere along the way, the rest of the world said, "Oh no, it's fine. You can expose them. It's fine."
I think it's just that laziness of like, there's no forethought.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I guess that's, unless you got anything more to add.
I have nothing more to add other than, like, again, to circle back, invest. It is the best way to honor yourself if you take time to make your space really your space. Make it so that way you don't want to leave, you know?
Yeah.
Make it so that way you're like, God damn it. Yeah. Every time I leave my room, I'm like, fuck.
Make it a sanctuary. And whether that, like, her room is a maximalist room, everything is, like, every corner has lots going on.
Yes.
But because it's all, color-wise, it's very monochromatic. I don't know why I said that so weird. Chromatic.
Monochromatic.
And it's very, like, uniform. Yes. So it all plays well together. Whereas my room, and, well, it's mine and Caboose's, it's very minimal because I am a very minimalistic person. Yeah. I like really clean surfaces.
Well, again, personality-wise.
Yeah. And, like, just to touch on one thing. Oh, my God, excuse me, I just burped. I think that's our first burp on the podcast.
Oh, hooray.
I think it's, like, episode, like, 15 or 16.
That's pretty good.
One thing Caboose did say earlier when we were clearing out the garage yesterday, and he was talking about clearing out some more stuff earlier today. Yeah. And James Clear talks about like that shaking is because Callista just caused an earthquake with her fucking hands.
Absolutely. I actually clocked my elbow on one of the knobs on the table.
Oh yeah, our table is a live edge table. And I insisted that we leave all of the dangerous parts.
Yeah,
and
the ouchies.
Yeah, all the ouchies. So our table will bite you. Our home is not made for kids. There's lots of like areas it's for you to hurt yourself.
As it should be, because of the greatest. But anyways.
Yeah. But Caboose said something, and I think that like it should be in your everyday life, from your interior design, but also to your workspace. And it is a quote from James Clear, and I'm going to butcher it because I didn't look it up beforehand because I'm not prepared.
Whatever.
But it's that everything is vying for your attention. Yeah. So your space should be a reflection of that. So if you have a bajillion things everywhere, then you're going to get lost in that like analysis paralysis of like, well, what do I do? Because everything is pulling my attention. Whereas like my bedroom, it's our bedside tables, which I think my side is like sex games and his side is lube. And that's it. That's it. Genuinely. And then we have artwork on the walls, but it is a really soft sage green because I want it to be a really like relaxing place for me to be.
It is a beautiful
room.
And
our bed is super comfy with lots of cushions.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple important pieces of like stuff from trips on an opposing wall. And then we have the glitter wallpaper that's black glitter wallpaper because I had to give him a manly section. And it brings the black from downstairs up into our bedroom.
Yeah.
On the wall with a TV. And that's it. But I think that like, because that's one of those things that, especially in anyone who's been married for a long time, can understand that you lose that in a bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me to be like, here you go, there's sex games right there. Because nothing else is vying for my attention.
And as a maximalist, you can still do it. And you can do it right. However, manage your priorities, because it's the only reason why my viola and my ukulele are up is because like every time I look at it, I'm like, I should probably practice that. And some days I do. And most days I don't.
Yeah, but that's it, is that is vying for your attention. And you don't have clutter. You have intentional space taking.
Yes. And yes, if it's going to take up space, make sure it's intentional and make sure it's for a reason. And also...
And then it brings you joy.
Yeah, when you're clearing stuff out, I do with clothes, it's really painful because I love clothes. But I don't let myself ruminate on it. I go, when's the last time I wore this? A year ago? Donate. I can't. Yeah. The more time you give yourself to feel bad and convince yourself to keep it, I feel like the more you should actually donate it. If you're rationalizing keeping it, you should donate it.
And that goes for anything.
Anything.
People, things.
Yeah, people especially.
Clear them out. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, know that we love you. And also, if you have questions about interior design, genuinely, we love it. We'd love to fucking help you.
I would love to help.
We're actually going on a trip in a couple weeks to visit some friends that just bought a house. And that was the first thing they said. They're like, all right, know that we're doing an interior design.
And we're all in. We're the homewreckers for a reason.
Yep.
But yeah, let us know if you want any help with interior design. If you are proud of your space, also send us pictures.
Yes, I love seeing other people's spaces.
Yeah, I love it. Yep. So yeah, go ahead.
But cover those LEDs before you send it to us.
Yeah, because... I'll forgive you once.
Yep. It's like seeing the seams of a dress. I don't want to see it.
It's like...
I don't want to see it.
I don't know. It's like seeing, I don't know. I don't know how to put it outfit-wise, but it just makes me mad. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much. We love you, and we will see you next week.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.